In Brussels, common sense has been completely lost. Europe's two nuclear powers decided to send troops to Ukraine. This practically means that Europe's nuclear powers have begun to engage in the war. And their goal, let it be clear to us, is for the flames of war to engulf the whole of Europe.
In a stunning revelation, sources suggest that the Finnish government is secretly weighing the possibility of deploying nuclear weapons within its borders, a move that, if confirmed, could dramatically alter the security landscape of Northern Europe. The claim was made by a member of Finland's National Conservative Freedom Alliance party in an interview with the Russian state news agency TASS, setting off a wave of speculation and diplomatic concern across the continent. Armando Mema, the Finnish politician behind the disclosure, admitted that relations between Russia and Finland have plunged to their lowest point in modern history, describing the current atmosphere as one of deep mistrust and political hostility. Mema went further, saying many in Finland already feel as though their country is effectively at war with Russia, a sentiment that reflects growing fear along NATO's newest frontline against Moscow's influence and aggression. Armando Mema said, quote, "The relations will not improve anytime soon, until next parliamentary elections, where something might change but probably not much. I don't think there is any possibility that relations will be able to turn back at the pre-war level, at least with the current mindset and media propaganda. Finland is becoming more and more an existential threat to Russia, where discussion about hosting nuclear weapons is secretly being considered by the current leadership. President Alexander Stubb some time ago said that Finland might host nuclear weapons, since it is now a full member of NATO. Since Finland joined NATO as a member, the relations started to deteriorate with hateful rhetoric against Russia, mainly pushed by those who had interest to divide the two countries, and ultimately use Finland as a tool against Russia to weaken it economically and confine it ever more. Sanctions and anti-Russia sentiment have never been so high in history. It is fascinating how majority of people are victim of the warmonger propaganda, when well-educated Finns didn't fall for this narrative of hate against Russia, but continue to maintain a historical neutral view of what is happening in the international arena and judge historical events with fairness and criticism. Finland continues to participate actively in the conflict in Ukraine, providing military support and promoting a very dangerous path at the European level as well, in the coalition of the willing, with President Stubb pushing for policies that go against Russia but that also end up hurting Finland and its people, ultimately. At the same time, Russia has openly intensified its own nuclear posturing. The Kremlin is now actively deploying nuclear-capable missiles in its ongoing military campaign against Ukraine, signaling a sharp escalation in the conflict. Russian officials confirmed that on January 8, their forces used the nuclear-capable Oreshnik missile during a strike, marking yet another instance of Moscow demonstrating its readiness to leverage advanced strategic weaponry on the battlefield. Meanwhile, on January 10, Hungary sharply criticized its European allies, specifically the United Kingdom and France, over reports that both nations may soon send troops into Ukraine as part of post-ceasefire stabilization plans. Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó condemned the potential move, calling it reckless and highly provocative, especially coming from nuclear-armed powers. He warned that such actions could further destabilize Eastern Europe and risk a broader confrontation.
In Brussels, common sense has been completely lost. Europe's political leaders, the war fanaticism has taken over. Last weekend, an agreement was made public in Paris. According to this, Europe's two nuclear powers decided to send troops to Ukraine. This practically means that Europe's nuclear powers have begun to engage in the war, and their goal, let it be clear to us, is for the flames of war to engulf the whole of Europe. And the trouble is, my dear friends, that from this point on, this is no longer Fortnite, but the real world itself. And we must also see that Brussels' war policy is putting Hungary in the greatest danger. And in Ukraine, the state policy is harshly anti-Hungarian. Brussels is ready to drag Hungary into the war plan for Kiev. But there is only one obstacle to the implementation of this plan. And the only obstacle is Viktor Orban's sovereign national government. And now in Brussels and Kiev, they are moving heaven and earth to remove this obstacle. Let us not forget, the essence of the Brussels-Kiev plan is to drag Hungary into the war. My dear friends, the question of war or peace depends only on us. In the past 4 years, we have managed to stay out. It took a daily, superhuman struggle, and the rejection of political pressure to achieve that during the past 4 years, we could stay out.